And it's time to fall back. Joining me now is television writer, producer, and all-around creative mastermind, Chris Brancato. He's written episodes of hit shows you know, like Beverly Hills 90210 and Law and Order. He also created and executive produced the entire Netflix series Narcos. He's co-creator for a show that's now getting new buzz, the upcoming Godfather of Harlem, premiering on Epix in September. And we are also joined by Professor Michael Eric Dyson, who's written more than 20 books, count them up, on civil rights leaders like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., and great artists like Nas and Tupac. And his latest book hits close to home here on The Beat, Jay-Z, describing the music, the hustle, and the creativity. He is currently a professor of sociology at Georgetown University. Great to see you both.
Thank you.
So much.
Let's get into it. What's on your fallback list?
I mean, people are online telling me that Scarface is better than either Godfather, and certainly better than Godfather 1. And I'm ballistic, brother. Fall back with that noise.
The Scarface fans.
I mean, the Scarface, I love you. Say hello to my little friend. Well, that's good. Pacino with the second-rate Latinx, accent. No disrespect to the Don. But, I mean, are you serious? Are you going to put that above? Look how they massacred my Floyd. I don't want to see his mother to see him like this. I mean, you spend time with your family? Because a man who never spends time with his family can never be a man. Come on. He's dropping more wisdom than Aristotle, more science than Einstein. I mean, Marlon Brando, the history of immigration, the politics and crime of American culture, no disrespect to Scarface, fall back with that.
You're in this field. Do you go Scarface or Godfather?
Well, I would choose Godfather, of course, but I think you have to make a classic distinction. Godfather on the one hand, Goodfellas on the other. Goodfellas, highly journalistic, realistic depiction of the mob. Right. The Godfather, hyper-real, based on codes of honor that don't actually exist, a mythologized view. They're both incredible movies.
What's on your fallback list?
My fallback list is robocalls. If there's anything that will incite me to murder faster than having my car stolen or my house broken into, it's getting a call 16 times a day. Yeah. My favorite, of course, is the one that tells me I have 4 felony warrants in Ohio. That if I don't...
Did you get the IRS one yet?
Yes, I've gotten the IRS.
I get some in a foreign language.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. I got one.
You get that?
I got one. I did. No. I was like, I'm global now.
It's audio spam. On my fallback list is scientists telling us that this whole thing might be a simulation. And this is real scientists in real news. Here's some articles pointing out why, quote, we might be living in a computer simulation. And then another one saying, are we living in a computer simulation? Let's not find out. And this is by a scholar who says, if our universe has been created by an advanced civilization for research purposes, it's crucial that we don't find out. If we knew we did live inside a simulation, this could cause our creators, our sort of future generations that are studying us as primitive ancestors, to terminate this simulation, to destroy our world.
Wow.
Now, I know you're
red pill, blue pill.
Red pill, blue pill. I know you're a deep thinker. Is it possible that this is all a simulation? And if so, and determining that truth, risk ending it, would you rather not know?
Of course, I would rather not know. But here's the interesting part about that. To project the possibility that this is a simulation, simulacra, I think Baudrillard spoke about that, is quite interesting. And how do we know? It's like logical positivism. Don't believe anything, right? When you talk about it, only things you can scrutinize and see that are certainly true without a kind of variability can be proved to be true. But how do you know that statement is true? So the thing is, you keep backing yourself up.
Let me ask you this, 0 to 10, the likelihood that this is a thing, because this is in real newspapers, real scientists talking about this, but it sounds fanciful. I can imagine viewers saying, Ari, what are we even talking about? 0 to 10.
Sub 5.
Well, I would say 5, because it's anyone's guess as to whether what we're sitting in is reality or 5
not. Seems high.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, reality is in the eye of the beholder.
Well, yeah, and who'll be holding it?
Who'll be holding it? I don't know. Where are you going?
Who'll be holding it determines how we see it.
Are you suggesting that perhaps focusing on whether this is potentially a computer simulation is a kind of a high-class problem?
You know what? People who are on the front line, who have to get up every day, tend to try to survive. Those who have the luxury of misery and cynicism tend to consult other forms of extraterrestrial engagement to try to explain the misery we got. You know, some of us just get some Ripple and get some weed and figure out what can we do. I mean, weed whacker. Young people, do not go get marijuana. So the reality is that, yeah, I think that it is the kind of fanciful engagement, the phantasmagoria of those who are at the upper end. Those who are at the bottom end going like, bruh, whatever this is, real or not, I got to pay my bills. It doesn't make a difference at the end of the day.
Amen. I don't know about the simulations, but if they do get up on this cloning, I hope we can clone the professor. And we'll clone some of your work, and we'll keep an eye on where all the Godfathers, past, present, and future, are headed. My special thanks to Chris Brancato and Michael Eric Dyson.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.